everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. We're here today for DEPHEMEREMBER Day 17, working with fabric and ledger paper. This is December daily prompt list hosted by 49 Dragonflies and Louisa Heinzel, who I have linked in the description box. So let's jump right in. I gathered a few supplies, as I typically do beforehand, but I don't have a huge plan in mind. I have like a light plan, and I am really enjoying this very relaxing kind of fir tree candle. It is just so nice. I'm getting my cozies on. It's definitely getting to be holiday time, but we'll just move it out of the way so we can spread out a little here. So what I grabbed was some of my eco-printed fabric. So this is mordanted cotton that has been printed with birch leaves and some other kind of leaf that I can't recall what these long ones were. So that happens sometimes. These are the birch leaves, but I completely forget. And the mordant I used for this was oak gall or gallnut. So that's why you get this nice green tone. This is just actually a vintage, it was a vintage cotton napkin that I got at an estate auction. It has this little part here that needs to go. It just really clashes with the fabric. But yeah, that will get used for something else. So that's the fabric that I want to use in this project. Then in terms of ledger paper, I grabbed a couple pieces of this. I dyed this ledger paper kind of this light blue a week or so ago, and it's good for like a wintry theme. And I feel like this ephemera that I've been making is kind of falling into like a winter lore sort of theme. So I'm good to kind of go with that. But then also I've been thinking about using things up. So I have actually 2 copies of this book that is beautiful, an illustrated treasury of orchids. And I have seen beautiful pictures of orchids randomly popping up in snow, kind of like how snowdrops are like the first flowers. I don't know necessarily where this happens. Like, I don't know enough about the nature study of it all. I probably could learn about it if I wanted to, but not today. So I've chosen from this book of absolutely gorgeous images. I wanted to go with some brown type shades. So I chose these orchids, then this one, and this one. So I think that will kind of pull together a bit of a theme, which I'm trying to go for because I see all of this ephemera living together in its own happy kind of winter lore feeling journal. And then I also grabbed some file folders to just sort of solidify anything, glue it down. So I'm thinking about a couple things. So I need journal cards. I also need, you know, pockets and tuck spots and things like that. I think I haven't gone through. Maybe we'll do that really quick. Let's have a recap of what we've made. So we won't talk about it in great deal, but we'll just kind of like add it to either like a writing thing, like a card or a tag, or a pockety thing, like a tuck or a pocket, and then maybe neutrals, things that could be used in either way. So this, I look at, it's quite large, so I would say this is a very good journal card. I mean, it could be a neutral, but it's a big neutral, so I'm going to put it in the journal card pile. This one I would say is a neutral. This one again, journal card. This one is a neutral. This one I'd say is a neutral. This one is like a writing tuck, so it's definitely like a journal card. Same with this one. This is most definitely a journal card. And these puffy postcards, definitely journal cards. This is an envelope tuck spot, as is this and this. This is a journal card. This is a journal card. Okay, so these are both envelopes. These are, I want to say these are like neutral, these tickets. neutral or neither. Maybe they're just decorative. So I'll just put them in like the sort of neutral pile, or the never mind pile. Definitely these could be either neutral. That's a tag. This is definitely a pocket. That's definitely a journal card, definitely a pocket. Pocket. Pocket, belly band. These are, I would say, like decorative in the same way that those are decorative. So if we just compare these, we don't consider the neutrals. I've got 1, 2, 4, 5. I need a bigger box for these. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 12 tucky things, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 things to tuck in, and then a bunch of neutrals and a bunch of decoration. So you know what? It's pretty darn even. That's kind of cool. So we do whatever we want. Awesome. All right, so first thing I think is I will delineate one to making like tags maybe, because I'm feeling tags today, and one to making pockets. So let's do that. Let's do tags first, just because I'm feeling tags right now. So we'll decide how we want to divide this paper. I'm thinking I'll do 2 tags. So I'll fold this in half. And then we'll decide how big we want them to be. And yeah, okay. So yeah, I think about like this, maybe a little shorter, right there. And we'll just set this little scrap aside because that might come in handy. Okay. So then these will both fit on here. So let's just tear this, move those out of the way. And then we'll glue down these 2 tags just to give them some more firm surface here. And I like the other side better, so I'll glue this one. Oops. So yesterday I went and I was feeling a little bit, I've been in the house all day for whatever reason, which is really unusual for me. I usually spend a couple of hours a day outside, or I start to get a little bit antsy, especially in the wintertime when there's not enough light and it becomes dark here around 5 o'clock at this time of year, which is a lot for me. Admittedly, I go a little kooky. If I don't get outside, I start to get very antsy. So I went to this little candle store and we picked up some candles because I felt like it would just be, I never really have candles in the house anymore. I don't know why. I guess because of little kids. Like, I'm very cautious about that whole situation. So we're going to new glue stick. So I decided that I can burn them in spaces like this where I am by myself and, you know, can manage that. So that was a nice little treat. So just get these cut out, and then we'll have nice firm backings. Have to start planning for our holiday dinner this today, I guess. Not this weekend, but today, because I prefer to do most of my shopping in the downtime if I can, when other people aren't out. Okay, let's get rid of all these scraps. Now, the complex thing here is I don't want to cut off the 29 right there on the ledger paper. So I'm thinking I'm just going to leave this as a tall journal card, and then this one I'll cut into a tag. which is good because, you know, it's more variety for this book overall, and I can have some different options, but it will still come together. We hope. Okay, so there's the bases for those. Let's quickly create pocket bases. So what kind of pockets do I want to do? So we have a little tear here, so I've got to think about that when I'm tearing how I want to do this. So I'm thinking with this, I'd like to create some kind of like a traditional pocket shape. So we'll get rid of that little, throw them in the scrap pile. And then we have this left over. So maybe I'll create like a side tuck spot with this one, because I'm thinking about like a ruffle or something with fabric. That could be nice. Could also create paper ruffles if we wanted to. So now, again, we'll just glue these down to give that solid base. Just kind of getting myself started here. And I need a new glue stick. 1 minute. There we go. Yeah, I was sort of deciding if I wanted to do any pre-planning ahead today for this, but I find these videos haven't been super long, so I don't really need to be concerned. Which side do I like? This one. Okay. If the videos were coming out to like, you know, an hour or more, then I'd be a little concerned, but I think I'm not being too tedious in my creation here. I know some people don't like to watch a lot of things like inking and cutting out, but then other people would absolutely love if I was just, you know, being quiet and cutting paper so they could listen to it. So I am just going to do my thing and try to make everyone as happy as I can without thinking too much about it. Because I think that's how we stifle ourselves, is worrying about what people are going to say or think in the comments. But I can say I've been pretty lucky so far, still being a small channel, that I haven't gotten a lot of negativity, which is very nice. Okay, so now we'll just glue this down. Of course, now that I've said that, I'm sure someone's out there going, let me see what I can meddle in. But hopefully not. All right, let's get these out of the way. Cut these out real quick. I'm just going to flatten them out a little bit more. Also thinking I want to stop today by our local recycle center because I need to pick up a couple more little wooden boxes for storing ephemera. And I also need to get some different metal bits for some rustic dyeing projects and kind of industrial feeling bookwork that I want to do in the future. I have so many plans and so many things in mind for next year that I am just making lists so I can hopefully get through a chunk of it. It's good to have something to do. I don't know how people go through life without hobbies, like I would like something, you know, hands-on to do. I'm always a little bit like, I don't know how to connect with someone who doesn't have a hobby. Not that I'm, you know, criticizing them, but yeah, I don't know what that life of like just kind of work, watch TV, go to bed. I don't know how people do that. I think it would be so stressful for me. Just to not have like something to do, but that's probably just my brain, like stressing myself out. All right, so, oh, these are so beautiful. I'm trying to decide how to best use this piece of fabric. I'm wondering about like creating kind of, you know, a little bit of fabric, a little bit of ledger, and then putting some floral on top of that. I think that might be the best use of this. So I don't need to stress about this. I have so much eco-printed fabric and the ability to eco-print fabric. So let's cut out a square of it. This is my problem. Like, I create things that I love like this, and then I want to just hoard them forever in my stash. And I can't do that because, you know, you run out of space and you start to feel all stuffy. So use your things. Use your precious things. Life is not infinite, right? Okay, so I consider the shape of this. And the size of this, I'm almost thinking, let's just see if we can tear it. No, I can't tear it diagonally. It's sort of like, what are you thinking? I want to go kind of a mishmash. Let's literally just get a little messy here. There we go. We've done it. What is my dog barking at upstairs? Okay, yeah, I think that's what I want, is a little bit of half and half there. And I'm not worried about this jaggedy edge because I think it will be covered. So I'm just going to start by gluing here on this side in the general, like, half. Oops, come on. Okay. And just go back here and add a little more glue to the edge of this fabric that's not already glued. Okay. And then go to the back and take off the excess. Wondering if my dog is barking at this cat that I saw this morning. I saw this large black cat just crawled across our, well, didn't crawl, but walked across our fence this morning. I was sort of like worried about it because it's quite chilly out, but I know cats are not too impacted by the cold. I'm not an outdoor cat person. I'm a happy, safe indoor cat kind of person. So I don't like to see them outside a whole lot. All right, now what to do? I think this one's kind of speaking to me. So how to do this? I'm going to just kind of cut along here because this is kind of what makes some sense to me. And I don't want to, I don't know, I guess I could fussy cut these out. They're not too difficult. I'm often a fan of like leaving a little white space around because it's just easier. And sometimes I think like about, you know, 60% of an image is easy to fussy cut. And then there's that other bit that's just sort of like, no, why? And I don't like the inconsistency of like half and half being kind of cut out, but we'll get there. Also, ink does wonders and covers up all the white space anyway, so I don't need to really worry. I tried to watch Barbara's video last night, and then I just ended up, I was very sleepy because we went out on an evening kind of drive, and I think I ordered a hot chocolate, and I think they gave me like a mocha. And before, you know, after 6 o'clock for me, coffee is just, it kind of makes me feel very wired, and I already have a bit of insomnia, like that naturally is an issue for me. So I don't drink coffee usually past morning. And so I was really wide awake, but then I kind of crashed and felt a little bit like bleary and tired. And so I don't know. I was up till late. My daughter also wasn't sleepy, which was weird. Maybe just she was feeling the energy from me or something. And so we were up a little late last night. But okay, so See, I cut this out. Now, though, I'm stuck with the inside. I'd have to cut all that out with a razor knife. But let me just look at what I want to do first, because I might not even need to really... How much of this do I want to use and to cover? See, I like this sort of... Maybe the collision with the... Covering up the... a good part of the seam there might be nice. And even putting this like on this angle so that we just retain a good amount of the fabric. But we still have the ledger showing. I don't want to totally cover the ledger, so... Oh, this is challenging. Because what other element would I want to add to this? Not really a whole lot. And I just don't like that bare seam. So here's what we maybe want to do. Take away this big leaf, because then we'll see more of the ledger paper behind it. Yeah, okay, yeah. That's what we're gonna do. Okay, let's cut this off. Then we are enabled to cut this out without too much duress here. I'm gonna do the lazy kind of fussy cutting thing where you just cut through a small part to get to a big part, and you don't worry about it because the glue is gonna glue it down anyhow. So that's what I'm gonna do with this whole stem here. There. Then I'll decide if I have to cut that out too, based on how this is going to fall. Okay, slightly different idea. Glue. Let's just start gluing. I'll lay this down with glue on it, and then I won't be able to keep fidgeting with it forever. Okay. Right there. Actually, no, right there. Yeah, okay, yeah. I need to commit. Then I still have this, and I think I want to just take this little flower off. And it's just going to kind of be coming out here like that to cover that up. Then I'll take a little bit of the stem here. This is just kind of like reconstructing your image like in a collage type format to just make it exactly the shape you want. So I just want to add this little stem in here just to cover the connection between the paper and the fabric, because I'm struggling with that for some reason. Okay. All right, let's move this out of the way. Then we'll go back here and we'll cut off the excess of the orchid. Alrighty. Ink. Get rid of these little white bits here and there that I missed. That would require a lot of extreme patience to go in. So I'm going to stitch around this, but I'm going to do it all at the very end here, so that I'm not going back and forth. And I'm just going to use my inker to just see how that's fraying a little bit. It's just fraying up the fabric on the edges. That's really what I want. Just a little fray. Okay. I know there's just a tiny bit of ledger there, but I'm totally fine with that for this one. So now let's do something ever so slightly different with this one. Let me set that scrap over here. Well, it's not a scrap. It was cut with intention, but not for this one. So I think for this one, how would I want this to work? I think I want to put a ruffle down it, like a relatively wide ruffle maybe. We'll do it with this, a little bit of the edge here. So this is a little longer, so this will be enough to ruffle. So actually, I will take a stitching break. One moment. So I'm back. I have stitched around both the tag and I've added the ruffle on the tall journal card here. So that's all stitched around. I'm happy with it. Now we'll move on to this one. So looking at this right now, I'm feeling like I'm really going to look at these pieces as a nice little collection. And I think that's really valuable from this ephemera making challenge, is like, I feel like I'm creating these little collections each day that are going to go together with each other, but also they'll be holistically nice together in a journal. So that is a nice way of doing things, I think. So from these orchid images, we have a few little things that we could keep, which are the seeds. I like to sort of look at what's left over here. Keep that in case I need a little more greenery, who knows. All right, now I think I want to use this one on here, and I want to kind of deconstruct this image a little bit so that it's going to work in the space that I have. So first I'm going to grab a leaf here. And a second leaf. Sorry if I'm off camera. I'll just put the big piece of paper down and then I'm not shoved out of frame. Those will go like that. And then I'll take one of the tall leaves from back here. And also maybe this little kind of pre-bloom. And that's going to live sort of here. And then the flowers, I want to kind of cut them out individually. This is more like an assemblage, kind of. Then this one, it's sort of from a side view, so that's kind of interesting. A little bit harder to cut this one out just because it's sort of small and a little more fussy. Okay. Might just have that one kind of peeking here. And then I wonder if there's any room to sort of use these roots. They're kind of facing the wrong direction for what I need, but let's see. Kind of rough cut them out for a moment here. Yeah, I need them kind of to go the other way, but let's see if this would add anything or not. No, it's too jagged. Okay, that's fine. So let's glue this down. Come here. Now that I said that these videos aren't that long, this one's going to be, I think, longer than most of them. Goodness, that's okay. We do what we want here. We're rebellious, right? It's okay. And then I'm going to put the flowers on with Fabri-Tac because partly they'll be on the fabric. They are going to go over the edge of both. So let's just let that turn upside down for a minute. And maybe while we're doing that, I'll think about pockets. I might just do like a speedy kind of video of pocket creation because I think we're probably approaching half an hour right now. That I don't need. Okay, let's grab the Fabri-Tac now. Whoops, get that little bit off of here. Hold that down because the part under the fabric will want to push it up until the papers adhere to one another. Okay. My placement is completely different than how I started out, but that's okay. It's just about conceptualizing what you're doing. Okay, so I'm going to call that done. I like that actually quite a lot. All right, now we have two pockets here. So I think I will just kind of play some music and speed through the creation process with these. And then at the end, I'll stop and I'll show you the whole collection together and maybe have a couple final words on how I think it turned out and the concept of this as a collection. So hold on. Okay, so we are all finished, the whole collection. So this is the first tag that I made. I used the fabric on half, and you can see the outline of both sides, the moon and the sun side of the leaf, and we have the orchids here. Then I did this pocket. There's more of the ledger paper sort of visible here, and I've added these orchids here. I've added both of the leaves again, moon and sun side, stitched around them. Then this piece kind of shares like familial relationship with this one because they have the same orchid. So this will be a corner tuck spot. And it has a little bonus. So this is the tuck spot itself. You can see the ledger. Added more orchid down here, stitched around the whole thing, added some of the stem that was left over from the other orchid. And then we ended up having this little bit of fabric that was kind of there as an additional tuck spot. So I made this little journal tag. I used that little bit of seed that was left over, added more fabric, stitched around it. It's glued down on ledger paper and on file folder. So then it can just actually tuck right up in here. The top can poke out there, and I think that's cute. So then I would glue the 3 sides, and it would sit down like so. And it would still be able to have, like, not this one, but some other different kind of a themed journal card go in, you know, like that. So, there's that. And then the last piece is, of course, this tall journal card where we added the ruffle and then added the orchids on top. So overall, I'm very happy with this as a whole little family, and it really goes well with the overall aesthetic, I think, of the winter lore. So that's it for me for today. Sorry if this video was a little bit longer than typical, but I'm really happy that I just got to take my time and play with fabric and orchids. So have a wonderful day. You can find all my social media down below in the description box. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do. I would love to have you around. So take care, and we'll see you tomorrow.